We'll begin our day. I kind of already mentioned it. The SEC office, well, the way this worked, the NCAA Baseball Rules Committee on Monday approved the SEC's request to implement a challenge system for balls and strike for each game of this year's SEC Baseball Conference Tournament. It is the MLB ABS challenge system. Not dead exact same, but it is the same system. Now, how many people were with me here yesterday on the Louie Show presented by CC Electric? And I kind of went off a bit on the home plate umpiring the ball strikes that we have seen, not just the A&M Auburn series, but just kind of all across the SEC. Mississippi State coach got tossed in the Texas series, and I don't need to point a example. Just pick any SEC game, I feel like, from any weekend. It's horrible. And I kind of said yesterday, we need the ABS system in the SEC. We need the ABS, not challenge. We need ABS to take over umpiring. It should call every pitch. Major League Baseball needs ABS, not challenge, ABS. Just as the base, call every play. I am pondering after this announcement that they're using the ABS challenge system for the SEC tournament if the league office listens to the podcast of the Louie Show. Like they heard me yesterday. The NCAA Baseball Rules Committee was listening live on the Zone 1150 AM, 93.7 FM. They said, we need to give them relief. It is that bad. I mean, listen to Louie. He said so. And then they approved this. I don't think the timing was a coincidence, do you? The way this is going to work at the SEC baseball tournament, each team will have 3 challenges to start the game. If a challenge is successful, the team will retain the challenge. Obviously, if your challenge is unsuccessful, you lose the challenge. Now, the thing that has fascinated me is if you're familiar with ABS, it has changed Major League Baseball. It is a game within the game. If you're a fan, it's fascinating. We, due to ABS, get to see every pitch. I'm wondering if we're watching at home, are we now going to get to see every pitch? If we're going to get that same enjoyment viewing pleasure. We now know like how butchered every umpire in MLB really is. And it's pretty ugly out there. Now, I hope the ABS challenge system is executed as flawlessly as we see in MLB, because one of the things that's fascinated me is how non-intrusive it is. The challenge happens and it's ruled quickly. This thing does not interfere with the pace of play. So I think this is glorious. I think this is great for the SEC. It'll be fascinating to watch Hoover. I just think this is fantastic. Teams use it strategically. Joe's talked about there's like 2 to 3 different philosophies. Some it can only come from the bench. Some refuse to do it early. We've seen walk-off ABS challenges. It's great. So, and the SEC is the first conference to do it. Now, we're going to see other conferences do it now that it's approved. We'll see conferences that don't want to do it have to do it. Because it's like, well, if the SEC is, we have no choice. It's like when the Big Ten canceled their football season. This is COVID, for those that remember 2020. And the SEC is like, no, we play football here. And went ahead and played. And then the Big Ten weeks later went, we're going to play a 4-game season. Sure, yeah. Same thing. SEC leads. SEC just needs to get back to winning national championships. So the SEC baseball tournament, just around the corner, May 19th to the 24th in Hoover, Alabama, will have the ABS system. I look forward to this. Anything to provide relief, anything to provide help. Because I know we complain all the time about the officiating and the umpiring, but this year is definitely a new low. Oh, it's so horrific. I got a text message that says Now all they need to do is move the SEC tournament from Hoover to Globe Life or the Juice Box. No. I don't think it's better to have these conference tournaments in the pro stadiums. 25 or even the crowds aren't large enough. Maybe the championship game would draw that one-time crowd. But no. When you have 11 a.m. games and 9 a.m. games and 1 p.m. games, no. I'm still, maybe this is me being old school. Maybe this is just me on my porch. The old guy on the porch, waving at the clouds. But there's still something about keeping some college in a college atmosphere. We've already put everything else. Think of our college football national championships into the pro stadiums. So, no, we don't need to put the SEC baseball championships into pro stadiums. There's minor league parks, I think, that are better equipped, and minor league stadiums from size that can provide great, hosting and so forth. But no, we don't need to go to Globe Life or Daikin or any, Fenway or any pro stadiums. In the non-con, where you've got the baseball classic in Houston and you at Globe Life and stuff, I get it. But I'm pro keeping some college atmosphere and that kind of environment for college events. I'm crazy that way. Have a text message. Some people are already pointing out some umpires that could be in trouble with ABS. I wish I knew more of the names for the different officials in the SEC, but who's going to be the Angel Hernandez? Right? CB Buckner of the SEC baseball tournament. Oh, good times are ahead. Thank you, Scott. 979-693-1150. You can light up the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. My favorite part of the ABS system, MLB style, is the umpire telling the teams to adjust to his strike zone and quit showing them up. And it shows how backwards the umpires are, realizing, no. The ABS is the strike zone. You have to adjust. Not the teams have to quit challenging to not show you up. It shows you how backwards the umpires are. Oh, I love that. That was early on. Maybe it was a week 2 thing, but quit challenging and quit showing me up. No, dude, that's the strike zone. You adjust. And I've hated that adjust concept for all time. Let's stay on the diamond. This is the Louie Molina Show on the Zone. Let's stay on the diamond. Aggie baseball announcement yesterday afternoon, but Mississippi State, the Saturday game, which is the third game, which is the series finale, final weekend, wrap the regular season. That's it. Game time has been changed for TV. That's now an 11 a.m. game. So May 16th, Mississippi State, Saturday, which is game 3. That series is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Final game of the regular season is now 11 a.m. and will air on the SEC network. Go ahead and change your schedule accordingly. Check it out for yourself. But I wanted to give you a heads up. I don't want you to show up at the time you're supposed to and it'll be in the 8th inning and you can't get parking. Plan accordingly. Aggie baseball plays tonight. Prairie View A&M. The final non-con of the year. A&M, Prairie View A&M tonight. Aggies are 9th in the country, if you're wondering. 9th what? Rankings. Rankings mean nothing at this point. Really, it'll never happen. But I think it would be more accurate and it would be just as effective. We should be talking in RPIs in the final month for college baseball and softball. We should be talking because A&M's 8 in RPI. That's all that matters. You're going to host regionals. Can you host supers? We should just use RPI. Basketball should be net in the final month. We should dump. Who cares what the AP and the coaches think at this point? But Aggie baseball, number 9 in the country, 8 in the RPI. Host Prairie View A&M final non-con. No starters announced for either team. Both are TBD. Prairie View A&M, if I read it correctly, is one of the 5 worst RPI teams in all of college baseball. You will beat them and move down. Anybody got a rain dance? Anybody else know how to crack the Aggie Dome? Because it is a bit overcast. But can we bring like lightning and thunder or hail or something? When they play tonight, 5:45 pregame, like 6:02:22 or something. That'll be first pitch, and you can hear the game right here on the Zone, 11:50 a.m. and 93.7 FM. You can listen on the Zone app. You can listen at radioagalin.com, and you can tell Alexa, play Zone 1150. Now, I always take a look at the promotions, and generally I tend to complain about all of them. I know. That's what you do, Lou. Tonight is one of the great ones. BOGO. You buy a full price GA ticket, you get an additional GA ticket for free. Almost anything that's BOGO, Lou is pro BOGO. Now, you don't get to do walk-ups. I'm not sure why. All tickets must be purchased in advance. I don't know why even a BOGO has to have a, qualifier behind it. Like, if I walk up and there's still tickets available, why can't I take advantage of this offer? But that's the rules. I don't make them. So tonight, Prairie View A&M, buy one full ticket, GA ticket, get one free, but you have to buy it in advance. To me, I live in a simple world because I'm a simple man, and that's the result of many years and many beers. But in advance to me just means before first pitch. But nope. No walk-up purchases allowed. Cold. Aggie softball, they're sitting, chilling. SEC tournament's already begun. They had to move up all the game times for the SEC softball tournament due to weather. So the Auburn, Missouri, they're already playing. They might already almost be done. That was a 9 a.m. game. No, softball's 4 hours long now, so they're not quite done yet. But Aggie softball will play tomorrow, 10 a.m. first pitch. You can hear that game on Willie 1550 a.m. at radioagalin.com. And Aggie softball will square off against the winner of Auburn and Missouri. Aggie softball, they're just chilling. They earn the bye. And they're 16 RPI. 9th in RPI rankings in the SEC. I think if they want to safely host a regional, go ahead and win you 2 games. And I don't think we have to worry on Selection Sunday. Because again, they're 16th. That's the last hosting slot. 9th in order in the SEC. They are in the committee decided that no one's ever hosted from the Colonial before, or we don't have enough on the East Coast, or we needed one more due north. So they picked Minnesota, who's 19th thing. I've seen this enough from the committee that I'm not making things up. So 16 RPI, just telling you. Now. Credit to A&M softball history and Trisha Ford. A&M's also a highly respected softball program that doesn't get screwed over, generally speaking, necessarily. So it'll be fascinating. But let's take any interest out of it. Go win you 2-3 games. When we return, up next on the Louie Bellina Show, I'm inside the Charles Schwab studio. Sadly, our final visit with Logan Lee. I mean, he'll be back later, but for now. Makes me sad. It is the Louie Bellina Show, Tuesday on the Zone. I'll be right back.
Home on the road or Omaha. You can hear Aggie baseball on the Zone.
Welcome back. It is the Louie Bellina Show. It is Tuesday. Presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. We're about to talk some hoops with Logan Lee. He, former player at A&M, coach at A&M in Kentucky. But real quick text message. Jason said, our softball super is still guaranteed to send us to Austin or Norman. Correct. That is a fact. Oh, no, it's true. Look. A&M, if they get to host, they're 16 currently. If they host, they'll be 15, 16, maybe 14, 15. I don't even know if they can get to 14, but they'll be 15, 16 if they host. Texas and OU are going to be 1, 2, or 3. Absolutely. 2 of those 3 slots.
Yep.
And you think it's some conspiracy thing right now. Yeah, it is most years, but not this year. It makes sense. A&M's going to be 15, 16, and OU and Texas will be 1, 2, or 3. It's guaranteed that A&M will play OU or Texas in the Super, but don't put this down to the committee, storylines, conspiracy. It actually will make sense this year. Other years, it's been total BS. This year just makes sense. Logan Lee, what's up, brother?
Oh, nothing much. Hey, before we get started, got to give a shout out to Bryson Graham. Former player, San Antonio guy, played against him in high school. He went JUCO, I went JUCO. We finally met up here at A&M on the same team. Just named vice president of basketball operations for the Chicago Bulls.
Oh,
My man is making moves.
that's awesome.
Yeah, congratulations to him. He deserves it.
So
Bright star in the league, up and coming.
So anybody that wants to go to Chicago Bulls game, just text us and Logan will hook you up with tickets. Because Logan's now got an in. So you can text 979-693-1150.
You absolutely can text all day long.
What? You know people now.
I don't respond to those.
What do you mean?
I don't respond to that. You
confused.
respond to it, so you can respond to those text messages.
Yeah, I respond by telling Logan, I got another one for you. That's how we respond to this. 979-693-1150. If you don't need Bulls tickets, you can still text. And Logan is going to go on holiday after this. Hopefully, if we're all here doing what we do, feeling good about life, we'll gather back here before next season and talk Bucky ball.
I love how you call it a holiday. For everybody out there, he fires me and then he comes crawling back and begs me to come back on the show.
I've told Logan that he is free to come here and we can talk about anything. And Logan's like, dude, I can barely stand to look at you. And I'm like, fine, go on holiday.
It is a holiday.
Thank you. So 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. Text Logan while you can. He'll be gone for a bit. Logan, okay, the portal's closed. There's still players. I mean, is there any player movement to expect? Are we really looking at anything still?
Yeah, I mean, there's still one spot left. There's one spot remaining.
It's got to be a big, right?
I don't know.
He has 52 guards.
And he probably needs 53 to get where he wants to be. Yes, everybody would love a big, a 6'11", 7 foot to 7'2" athletic big that can run, jump, block shots, dunk, has a low post game but can shoot the three. That's the unicorn that you want. But they're few and far between, and the majority of them, if not all of them, already know exactly where they're going. Even if there's one out there that hasn't necessarily committed, they're just working on the deal to get it done.
I need to correct myself. I know I'm interrupting you.
Go for it.
Texas is 4 RPI, Oklahoma 6. They're not two of the top three. Go ahead.
I mean,
people start texting me if I don't.
But now you can blame it on the committee and say there's a conspiracy theory.
No, Texas will move up to 2 when they win the SEC tournament. A&M will be 16-15. Go ahead. But I had to correct that before anybody texted me. I wanted to be first.
A name out there that had been floating around, Jordan Burks. I don't think A&M lands him just because Bucky's done a good job at players at similar positions, and there are other schools that are on him that have open spots to play immediately, like guaranteed type stuff. So, but it is a name to watch. Man, I don't know. I think at this point, obviously, if you can get a big, that's what you want to do. You always want to increase the size of the team, but they've done a great job in the portal. They've done a fantastic job, and I'm really excited about where they're at and what they can potentially do with this roster, especially in year 2.
No, that's kind of one of the things I wanted to do since this is our final visit, is to kind of speculate, guessculate, and Bucky, this recruiting portal, and I pulled the number 4 kid in Texas, doesn't happen a lot, and this is kind of rarefied air for Aggie basketball.
It's a special time. It's a new time for everybody with NIL and with the transfer portal. It's just which coach, 1, adjusts the quickest, 2, evaluates the best, and 3, can figure out the puzzle pieces to the system that they want to run. It's always 1 and 2, or 2 and 3 have always been there. You have to be able to evaluate, and you have to figure out the puzzle pieces that you need. But 1 is ever changing each and every year. You have to be able to adjust. You have to be able to figure out, hey, what are we able to do right now? And not do. Who can we get cleared? Who's going to get the waivers? How are we going to make this work? And when you can be creative and you can adjust on the fly, you're normally at the top. And Bucky and his staff have done a good job of figuring out how are we going to get players in? How are we going to make sure they can play? And then where do we put them?
How hard is Bucky's system to learn? Every system has its own learning curve, its own developmental curve. How hard is Bucky's system?
Man, I think, to be honest, I think it's really hard. And the reason being is because every single player, whether you're coming out of high school, whether you're coming out of the transfer portal, you say, I want to play fast. I want to get up shots. Well, yeah, but one, to play fast, you have to practice even faster. And not everybody wants to practice as fast and go all out and be drained night in and night out in the practice gym where the lights aren't on, you're not getting that recognition, and you're being told to push every single possession. Not everybody wants to do that. They think it's glamorous to get a shot up in 7 seconds. They don't know how hard it is to work day in and day out to get to that conditioning to be successful at it. Two, you have to play defense 94 feet. It's not just offense. You're not just, hey, let's see who's the first to 140 points. You have to play defense 94 feet, and not every kid wants to do that. Not every kid can do that. I mean, we'll go back to my experience playing against Texas, and coach puts me in and tells me to guard DJ Augustine 94 feet. That's impossible for me. Maybe not for AC Law, but that's impossible for me. And not every kid can play 94 feet of defense as fast and as aggressive as Bucky wants to. And so I think there is a big learning curve. But once you get past the mental hurdles of saying, man, I can't do this anymore, or God, he wants me to go again. Once you push past those limits, I think that's when you'll see the team really rise. And you saw that at the beginning of SEC play this past season. In non-conference, they had some ups and downs. Oklahoma State was brutal. They had some
never scheduled 3 games in the first week.
UCF or whichever game that was where they lost at the end and there were a couple of turnovers. SMU, they turned the ball over 3 times in the last 40 seconds, whatever it was. I can't remember exactly, but those were the getting adjusted period. They knew what they were supposed to do, but they didn't execute on it. But then when they got their conditioning and they understood exactly what it was, that was at the beginning of SEC play, and you saw what happened. Now, a lot of people are going to say they played the bottom half of the SEC. Yeah, they may have, but it was still SEC play, which is better than
and they were still learning
than most non-conference
it's all
games.
relative, right?
Absolutely,
and they were still learning too.
Absolutely,
it's not like this was a mid-season form team we're talking about.
Absolutely, and so I do think it's tough to be a part of it in the beginning, but once you understand it and once your conditioning is there, man, sky's the limit when it comes to this offense.
I'm wondering about that because every coach has all different systems. I was wondering where Bucky ball as a system ranked on the scale. You give great perspective on that. The answer is hard, really difficult.
You gotta be able to run
because you're asking players to do things they've never had to do in their life, which is practice hard.
And I'll give everybody just
you don't come from the AAU ball learning how to practice hard.
No, not at all. I'll give everybody an analogy or a comparison. To get ready for Billy Gillespie, he was telling us you need to run 6 miles a day to be conditioned for what we're doing. We scored 50 points a game. And he was telling us we had to run 6 miles a day just to get prepared for the practices to then be able to get better.
Well, yeah, I know. Gillespie ball was the first to 46 wins. They should have just stopped the game there.
Yeah, because once we scored 46, we just started beating up on the other team and they didn't want to play anymore. But that gives you a perspective of, you need to run 6 miles a day to be able to just be prepared for what we're about to get into. And Bucky is doubling the speed and the length of the court. We weren't pressing 94 feet the majority of the time. There were very few times where we were extending 94 feet of defense. It was half court and we were physical, but that's the evolution of the game.
Let's take a timeout. We'll come back again. If you have text message questions for Logan Lee, then text message. How else would you get them? 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. Light up the Texas Mobile and Loop Express inbox. Texas Mobile and Loop Express, owned by Gabriel Garcia. This is the Louie Bellina Show. Tuesday. On the Zone. Tuesday.
Can't reach your radio? Listen to Aggie Baseball online at radioaggieland.com.
Logan and I, no, we can talk about this.
We can?
Yeah. Logan and I were talking about the good old days of basketball. Look, Logan came up under the Billy Clyde Gillespie banner, where if you acted up, you're going to get thrown to the ground. And you share the Michael Jordan story.
Okay, quick version is Dominique Wilkins scored 57 points on the Chicago Bulls, and the next time the Bulls played the Hawks in Chicago, supposedly, the way Dominique Wilkins says it, Michael Jordan walks in the locker room pregame with a suit, passes Wilkins, passes Kevin Willis, taps Randy Whitten on the shoulder and said, "Lace him up, it's going to be a long night," and walked out because he knew Wilkins had scored 57 on him the night before, and then he proceeded to score 60 points on him that night.
And Logan and I were talking about...
That is fantastic.
We missed the good old days because Jordan was different. The game was different. Players took it personal. Players played like it meant something. And nowadays, no player would care enough to walk into the other locker room. You don't have a single star athlete that would pull a stunt like that. Players don't care enough to remember how much scored on the night before. They don't care enough at that level. Someone would go, "I would score 60 on you, but it's my load management night, and I can't play tonight. So take that." Logan said,
"It's my load management."
Yeah, I'm off, or else, take that. Players, if it doesn't affect their check, they don't care. You scored 60, they're not getting paid less. It's just a different world. Growing up watching sports, you by the time you tried to score your 40th point, someone would have grabbed you by the neck and thrown you to the ground when you would have went to the hole. I miss different world. I miss when players cared. I miss when players would play on a Tuesday night like it was the NBA championship.
My dad played against Barry Davis, Hall of Famer here at A&M. He was one of our coaches while I was on staff, and he has the best story. My dad, little 5'9" Chinese basketball player in a bunch of towers that he's playing against, and he drives the lane and he shoots a floater and it goes over Barry Davis, and he's not afraid to talk. So my dad's talking to him, and you got to remember Barry Davis is 6'8".
You said that 5'9"?
My dad is 5'9" max, and he's talking trash to him. He comes in the next time and he tries to shoot a floater, and he said Barry Davis didn't even go for the ball.
Oh.
He put his forearm straight through my dad's chest, put him on the ground. And my dad, he wasn't afraid to fight. That's back in the day where you could fight and all it was a fight. It didn't turn into anything else. And he looked at me and said, "That's the one time that I hit the ground and I stayed there."
Stay down.
Because I saw this vein coming out of Barry's forehead that was going down his neck. I was like, that's not the guy I'm messing with.
You got to know and respect it, don't you?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's so good.
Oh, man.
Oh, and again, I miss when the players cared. And I'm not going to frame every player as not caring. One of the things I love about watching Mike Elko football is I believe all the players care again.
I agree.
And in Jimbo Fisher days, those most, not all, they did not care.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And it was insulting to me as a fan. Yep. Mike Elko, and I don't know if it's accountability, responsibility, we're all in this together, whatever, but you could tell he's got 100% buy-in.
Yeah, man.
Every player out there.
And it makes a difference. It not just for the fans seeing it, but for the team when they get down, when they're backed into a corner, when practice is going hard and every single coach has made it their prerogative to try to kill you in practice. That's when that comes out, and that's when it makes a big difference. And that's why I love the culture that is being born. And really, it is not just football. I think program-wide, A&M has something special going with all the coaches on campus right now. The coaches are building something pretty special across all sports.
100%.
Yep.
There's no doubt. Michael Early, Aggie baseball, since they're in season. The one thing I've said about him since day one, you just listen to him talk. And the one thing you can argue, why does he still have Sadeo on Fridays? You can argue a lot of different things. His year one didn't go well, but look at year two, okay? But since day one with him, you could tell that losing pains him.
Yep.
You could tell there's not one person walking the planet that wants to win more than him. And I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah.
And people like that tend to figure out a way to win.
Absolutely.
People like that tend to make things happen. And maybe it's not the most conventional way or way that you want, whatever, right? People like that tend to win, though, because losing hurts them so bad. You listen to him, right? There's nothing that means more to him than winning.
Yep.
And
the players
that's all
get
I
it.
want.
And
yeah.
the players get it. And that's why you continuously win, is because you develop that culture of what does it take to win? That's what we're going to do.
Quit BSing, quit wasting time, let's win.
Yep.
You know, and those people figure things out, don't they?
Absolutely.
So anyway, just yeah.
Got off on a tangent.
Okay.
A little bit of a tangent.
My whole show tends to be a tangent, you know. Roy May texted.
Holler at me, Roy. What you got?
It's from the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. I feel like the last NBA dude that had that dog in him, and that was the phrase that we talked. That's the exact phrase we had, was Kobe. The whole league is soft now. Happy Drinko de Mayo Mojambo. There you go. It is Cinco de Mayo, one of the great non-traditional holidays.
Cinco de Mayo, my father-in-law's birthday.
Is Cinco de Mayo?
Yep.
It's hard to forget then.
It is hard to forget.
It is Cinco de Mayo, and yesterday was May the 4th be with you, so.
He is, Roy, you're absolutely right. NBA is soft. But I like Jaylen Brown calling out Joel Embiid for flopping, and he said that's the culture of the game now. They want to get back. I don't know if you can get it back because of the way the refereeing is and so on and so forth. But, man, I don't like all the flopping.
Where does college basketball fit into that? Is college basketball soft? Or I don't think there's enough bigs for it to be hard. I don't think that, because when it's all guard play, it's not hard.
I don't think college basketball has gotten into the flopping per se.
Agreed.
I do think that shot selection, you know, they're trying to get into the up and unders, the up fakes, the reverse pivots to create contact. What I didn't like, and I like it at certain times, but I don't like it most of the time. I only like it when it's for A&M. But
okay.
If you remember Wade Taylor, he would dribble and he was so fast with the ball, and then he would stop right in front of the defender, and they would call a foul because the defender would run into him. I'm not a fan of that. I liked it because it gave A&M an advantage at that time. But as a whole, I don't like those are unnatural plays that are just caught. Like if you're going up for a shot in the paint and you're trying to create some contact, you lean in or you protect yourself with the shoulder and you extend your arm, whatever it may be, that's fine. But when you're running full speed and then you stop on a dime and someone's chasing you and they run into you, that's not
in
basketball
football
move.
terms, that's when you get the defense called for pass interference that was 100% on a bad throw from the quarterback or the wide receiver initiated contact all the way.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't know college basketball. They're football fans. I had to help.
But I don't like that aspect of it. But other than that, I don't think there's been too much flopping or anything like that. Heck,
I love college basketball.
officials are allowed to call flopping in college. I mean,
But they don't.
you can call that.
Have you
if
ever seen
want
it called?
to. I've seen it a couple of times,
Okay.
but it's seldom called.
Unfortunately, we reached that point where I'm going to have to tell you, get the hell out of here. So, the way too early.
Yep.
Prediction. What will Bucky ball do in 26-27?
I don't know. It's hard for me to say that they're going to top what they did this season in regards to ending up fourth in conference.
Oh, I don't care about that stuff.
Just because as good as they did in the portal, look at what Texas did. Look at what Florida is bringing back and who they are bringing in. Look at Tennessee. Like, look at the entire SEC. They have done a great job in the portal, and all these teams are brand new. When it comes to postseason, man,
The SEC took notice it underachieved last year.
absolutely, and everybody stepped their game up.
Yep.
I think postseason, if you're looking at second weekend, that's a win. With this team, second weekend, that's something that
I think that's too small.
Why? What A&M has never done anything.
Can I tell you why, though? Can I tell you why, though? Here's why. I'll tell you why, and then you can.
Yeah.
Because I think Bucky's great right now. And I just want to see something great, not good. Making the second weekend be good. It'd be real good. But I think what he's doing, year one was one of the best year ones. And when you put all the perspective into it, 14 new players and everything, it wasn't just great. It was just like unbelievable, magical. It was not possible, maybe even, to be fair. And then this recruiting class is something we never, ever. He's doing these things we've never seen. He's doing something like unprecedented. And I would just like to see him
Second
continue
weekend
that.
is unprecedented.
No, there's been teams that have advanced out of the Sweet 16. Didn't Billy Kennedy do it twice?
But that is.
So I want to see him continue on the path of doing things we just don't see. So I don't know. He has continued to blow my mind. I want it to continue.
Yes,
That's
look,
all. I'm being greedy.
I want it too, but you're talking about expectations, and I don't think you can put an expectation of
I can't expect greatness.
Of anything past the second weekend.
No, Final Four.
Okay. Okay.
I can't expect greatness.
Okay. I don't know what else to tell you.
Small.
Okay.
I want you to join me in this.
I'm not joining you. Not today. First game of the season?
Yeah, wait a minute. Whatever happened to you were always the one that in the off season was dreaming big?
No, in the off season, I'm always the one that says they got work to do. When game one comes, hey, they could go undefeated.
That's right. You pick them to win 30-something games in the regular season.
They could go undefeated because they have a chance.
They always have a chance.
They have a chance until they lose that first one.
Your official second weekend.
Yeah, I think that would be. I think I would be ecstatic with that.
I expect it.
I'm sure you do. Hey, I want people to have big expectations.
I think he's that good.
I think he's that good. Yes. I just don't know if an expectation for more than anything of Sweet 16 is realistic. It's not. It's not like if they win 2 games in postseason next year, I'm on fire. Like, that's awesome. But do I want them? Do I think they can? Yes. Do I think they can continue to win more games? Do I think they can go the furthest that any team in A&M history has gone? Possibly. But we still have to remember, all these guys are this good on paper, not in this system. Look at.
I'm buying all the stock I can get.
I would buy too, but I'm just trying to talk through.
16 teams make it to the Sweet 16.
That's what I've heard.
So can they be one of the 16 best teams in the country?
I mean, right now where they're ranked, no. I mean that's where they're not predicted to be.
They can do it. Logan, thank you. I have so much fun. I appreciate you taking time out. Logan owns like 10 businesses and stuff.
Yeah,
Logan
wish.
is one of the busiest people you'll ever meet. So he takes time out of his Tuesday, drops some knowledge. I help educate him. He learns a lot here. So it's like continuing education for him to hang out with me. Logan, thank you always, man.
I do appreciate your knowledge, Lou.
I'm here to help.
Yeah, man.
I'm a helper. That's what I do. And look, thank you. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun for me.
We'll be back, October, November, sometime?
June, who knows?
Oh, okay, there you go.
Thank you, brother.
See you, Lou.
Logan Lee played basketball at A&M in Kentucky. He played basketball at A&M. He coached A&M in Kentucky. And then, refereed the game too. And it's been a ride. It's been awesome. Greatly appreciated. He's been hanging out here on the Louie Bellina Show because he has nothing else to do on Tuesdays. When we return, we'll wrap up our first hour together of the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. They do residential, commercial, industrial services. They're CC Electric.
Home, on the road, or Omaha. You can hear Aggie baseball on The Zone.
It is the Louie Bellina Show. First hour just kind of flew by, and that's what happens when you're hanging out with friends like Logan Lee. He's donezo. Hopefully, if we're all doing what we're due, feeling good, life is nice, he'll be back with us season 2. Bucky ball. Now, coming up next, it is Joe Sheehan of the Joe Sheehan newsletter. He'll join us on the D4 Land Services hotline. And most guests of the Louie Bellina Show join us on the D4 Land Services hotline. Sometimes, like when the ticket booth is open, thanks to Dixie Tire Company, well, caller 5, caller 12. That's the D4 Land Services hotline. And, well, if you ever want to talk to me, people text all the time, but if you ever want to talk, you would call on, well, the D4 Land Services hotline. D4 Land Services, they kind of do a lot of different things. They can fix your land, clear your land, excavate your land. They do forestry mulching, pond construction, and they do custom metal buildings from the ground up. If you ever want to check out everything, all the things they do, go to d4landservices.com. Joe Sheehan up next, Olin Buchanan at 1 o'clock, Community Spotlight at 1:50. That's all still to come here on the Tuesday edition of the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. I'll be back, 3 minutes and change.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7. Thanks to our Aggie broadcast sponsors who make it happen. Schulte Roofing, home of the bulletproof roof guarantee. Prosperity Bank, real bankers, not just a bank. And the Angry Elephant, like your bar, love your Aggies. Listen to the games on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.